All right, friends, now we are going to tackle that subtraction where we're using the algorithm, but it involves regrouping. All right, if you're with me in Florida, we're still working on this same standard. If you're outside of Florida, you probably have a similar standard. So we're subtracting multi-digit whole numbers. We're building that understanding of division because division is just repeated subtraction. To our benchmark 2.1, we're working on subtracting those whole numbers now using the algorithm. We want the students to get very fluent, build that procedural fluency so they can get faster with working this. All right, so when we're using the algorithm to subtract, now we have that one more step. We need to regroup as we need to. Now in the student video, we go very in depth with this problem. So if you wanted to just see how I would explain it, you're welcome to go watch that one. Okay, I know the way I learned it. I know the way that I have taught it in the past is using the terminology of borrowing. Again, we want to build that foundational understanding of place value. This is a beautiful opportunity to do this by avoiding that word borrowing and using regrouping terminology. So with this, we look at how we subtract our ones. We have 6, but then we're trying to take 9 tens away from 5 tens. Again, just even little things like that instead of, all right, we can't take 9 away from 5. No, we can't take 9 tens away from 5 tens. So what do? We regroup 200 as 110 tens. Now, I know that the way I learned it too, we would just say, oh, we're going to borrow a 1 and we write a little 1 there. Again, is that helping to build that foundational understanding of what we're doing? Instead, if we say, let's regroup 200, let's make it 100 and 10 tens. When we add those 10 tens to these 5 tens, we now have 15 tens. So now we can subtract 15 tens, 150 minus 9 tens, and get 66 tens. So then next step, like I said, let's not say, oh, we can't take 3 away from 1. Okay, now we can't take 300 away from 100. So what do we do? Okay, well, we look over at our 1,000 friends and I say, well, I can regroup 3,000 as 2,000s and 10 hundreds. So we have 2,000s. I take those 10 hundreds, I add them to the 100 that I have. Now I have 11 hundreds. So now we can subtract 1100 minus 300 to get 800. And then obviously 2,000 minus 1,000 is going to be 1,000. All right, so there is a great, just like in the last lesson, we looked at Polypad. So you can use their cards. That is a really abstract way tool, the most abstract. In the student version with this lesson, we looked at modeling this algorithm with base 10 blocks. In the parent version, we looked at modeling it with exploding dots, but saved the cards for the teacher version because it is the most abstract, and I do think it visually shows the greatest connection to to using the algorithm. So let's go ahead and look at that. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. All right, that's exploding dots from the parent video. So we'll refresh here, reload the page. All right, so we are looking at 3,258 minus, okay, minus, let's see what number we're looking at, minus 1,392. I wasn't clicked inside there. 1,392. All right. I still did not get clicked inside there. All right, let's do this again. Here we go. Minus some technical difficulties today, but it is all right. We will get through them. Minus 1,000. Let's see, comma, there we go. 392. I need to put my comma here also. All right, there we go. Who knew it would be that difficult just to write our problem in? All right, so now we're working with the number cards. Okay, so it's over here on the left, number cards. All right, so I'm going to build these two numbers. So 3,258 I'm going to drag this over here, and then we're building 1,392. All right, so I'm going to drag this over here. All right, and we are subtracting these. All right, so a subtraction problem here. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my mouse down here so I can have my cursor. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to move it over here. I want to keep it beside each other so we can refer back to this one on the left. So we're going to go ahead and split this by place value. All right, so let's move this over a little bit more. All right, and we're going to show the subtraction here. All right, 8 minus 2, I can do that. I know that 8 minus 2 is 6. I cannot take away 9 tenths or 90 from 50. So the way that we can model this is we can come over to 200 and we can say, well, let's split 200. I'm going to make it 100 and 100. And then I want to put one of these hundreds over here with the 50. And then we can combine those two, just these two. Sometimes if you're having a hard time picking them, just hit Shift and the next one that will combine, and we're going to merge them. So now I have 150. So we can make that connection back to the 15 tens. Okay, so then we know that 150 minus 90 is going to be 60. Well, I'll have to build that one. So I'll come over here, build it, and we'll put our 60 here. All right, I can't take 300 away from 100. So I'm going to regroup with this 3,000. I'm going to split it. All right. Now, if we see what happens here, I want to take one of these thousands and I'm going to regroup it with my hundreds. All right. And so then I'm going to take these two. You can hit the Shift button and it will pick both of them. Now I have the 1,100, just like we did in the problem. Okay, now I want to come over here and group these 2,000s that we have to show that we took that 3,000, we made it 2,000s that we kept there in the thousands place, and the 1,000, we did 10 hundreds, but with the existing hundred. So now we have 11 hundreds. All right, 1100 minus 300, that's going to give me 800. All right, build that one, take it over here. And then finally, 2,000 minus 1,000, well, that gives me 1,000. So I know that my answer ends up being 1,866. So from the decomposed version on the right, we can form our number that is our difference there. All right, so just a fun tool and a great way to make the connection of what we're doing with all of this regrouping. One last thing, there is, let me pause for just a moment. I need to find it. There is a great card sort that I found on Open Up Resources. So I'm going to pause just a second and find that to show you. Okay, so it's this is a card sort that's available through Open Up Resources, that free online resource that for any educator, homeschool parent, anybody can use. And if you want to look at it with me, it's this card sort with diagrams and algorithms. And so there is a black line master that goes along with that. Now you can find the black line master up at the top of the lesson. I'll link it just to have it there. But I really love this card sort. You can notice it's only 8 cards. But I like it because it really makes that connection between using the algorithm when we're having to regroup and also making the connection to the base 10 block. So I think that would be a great practice. Its card sorts are always fun. It's only 8 cards. It wouldn't take a long time to do. So it might be a good way just to reinforce that conceptual understanding. All right, friends, I hope that you enjoy that lesson. It's a tough one. This is a tough one. And I know it really, it can really be a struggle. That's why I think it's So important for students to understand the why. If they understand the why and then have practice, it's just having a conversation with my good friend Lisa, who is an elementary teacher that I go back to high school with. They still need practice, okay? Even if they understand the why and how that regrouping works, I'm a firm believer that they still need practice with it. So hope you enjoy, and we'll see you in another lesson.